This podcast is sponsored by DUBBY Energy Drinks. You guys, I have made a lot of questionable decisions in my life, but this is not one of them. DUBBY is the best. If you've been searching for a clean alternative to an energy drink, look no further. DUBBY is a clean energy drink mixture that's designed to help you feel productive without that nasty crash afterward. It's sugar-free, has no artificial dyes, no nasty fillers, and it's packed with vitamins, amino acids, and all the good stuff that we need to really help with focus. They also use 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving, which for me is the sweet spot where I feel like awake and productive, but not like I just chewed on a power line and I'm about to astral project against my will. And they have so many flavors, guys. They have unique ones like Japanese yuzu, and they even have a s'mores flavor. I also really love that it comes in tubs, so I can just mix it whenever I need it. And it feels a lot smoother and cleaner than traditional energy drinks. My life really loves the element of surprise, and DUBBY has been coming through for me to get me through the day. So if you're like me and you've tried everything, but you keep getting disappointed, DUBBY is here to save the day. Head on over to dubby.gg and use my code suspects10 to save some money and also save your nervous system. That's code suspects10 at dubby.gg. Link is in the show notes to get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Booze Clues. I'm sorry I sang that to you. I'm so sorry. You write them, I read them, and sometimes I wish I hadn't because of the spookiness, not because they're bad. They're all good. They're all good. Why do I say things? Anyway, I have nothing new to share with you guys, really. I just recorded like 2 days ago. And aside from just like catching up on sleep, I got nothing. I did have a bizarre dream, but that's like always. I have weird dreams. Do you guys have weird dreams? Do you remember your dreams? Oh, you know what? I did do something. I got some sage. Yeah, some sage and Palo Santo. If you're watching the TikTok, let me show you. Let's show you guys. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to do it like an influencer. Huh? I have to like tick, 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 like do the tap tap ASMR that shit. All right. So there's my sage. It smells really good. Actually, it smells so good. It's a chakra healing sage and Palo Santo smudging kit. So I'm gonna heal the chakras. And I'm already off topic. Are we surprised? But if you are surprised and you're like, what am I listening to? Hi, welcome. My name's Taylor. I'm the host of, I just hit my microphone. That's not what it's called. I'm the host of Suspects and Spirits podcast. And sometimes people write me spooky stories and then I read them for you. And that's what this episode is. But normally I do true crime and paranormal stories. But once a month, I read these for you. And if you have any stories of your own to send in, you should do that. You should send them to me at suspectsandspiritspod@gmail.com. You can DM me. I believe my little email thingy's like up in the bio of the Instagram and probably not the TikTok. I don't think it is. But you can email me. And they don't have to be spooky. They can be embarrassing ones. They can be silly ones. Any ones. Let me read your stories, damn it. Send them in. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the inner workings of my brain. Today we've got some good stories for you. I'm imagining they're great. I have not read them, but I'm sure they're fantastic. I do see, though, just upon glancing, that they are not super long. So this should not be too long of an episode. I don't know, though. I tend to ramble, so don't put it past me. All right, let's dive in. Our first subject line today is my sister. That wasn't my sister. This could go very badly. Many directions. Okay. She starts. Hey, Taylor and fellow Ghouligans. My name is Melissa, she, her, and I'm from a tiny town outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Oh, Pennsylvania, huh? I found your podcast on TikTok a few months ago after your Ohio University episode popped up on my For You page at like 1 a.m, which honestly felt fitting. Oh, me too. Sounds right. I've been hooked ever since because your show somehow feels creepy and cozy at the same time. Thank you. That is like the best kind of compliment. I love a creepy, cozy vibe. Anyway, this happened 3 Christmases ago, the story that I'm talking about, not me discovering your podcast. And my sister still refuses to talk about it for very long. My older sister Jen hosts Christmas every year at her house because she has this big old farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere, like Hallmark movie during the day, absolute murder setting at night kind of place. It had snowed almost nonstop that whole week, very important to the story. And by Christmas Eve, the entire property was buried in snow. Everyone else was upstairs getting change for dinner or helping with the kids while I stayed downstairs in the kitchen wrapping presents because I procrastinate literally everything in my life. Hey, welcome to the club. I remember the kitchen being weirdly quiet. The dishwasher had stopped running, and the only sound was the old clock over the stove ticking. I looked up because I saw my sister walk through the dining room. I only saw her from the side at first, but it was definitely Jen. Same gray cardigan, same dark hair up in a clip. She walked slowly through the kitchen toward the mudroom door that led outside. I tried to get her attention, but she ignored me. I thought maybe she was upset because earlier she and her husband had one of those weird married couple whisper arguments. So I called out, Jen? But nothing. She kept walking. I laughed and said, okay, ignore me then. Still nothing. She reached for the back door and opened it. Cold air rushed in, and I could see snow blowing around outside. Then she stepped out into the dark. I got annoyed more than scared at first because why is my sister ignoring me while I'm wrapping her children's Christmas presents? I put the tape dispenser down and followed her because I thought she was crying or maybe trying to cool off or something. But when I stepped outside, there was nobody there. Um, so I don't like that. I would just walk back inside. If it's really her, she'll knock. She'll ask to be let in, but no, thank you. She goes on to say, not a single footprint in the fresh snow. And I mean none. Not hers, not mine, besides the ones I had literally just made. I just stood there staring at the yard, trying to process what I was looking at, when suddenly I heard my sister yell from upstairs, Melissa? Who are you talking to? I swear to God, I almost passed out. I turned around, walked back inside, and there was Jen, halfway down the staircase, in pajamas, with wet hair and a towel around her shoulders. She had literally just gotten out of the shower. I asked her if she'd been downstairs at all, and she immediately went pale. Apparently, I looked pale too because she kept asking if I was okay. When I told her what happened, her husband got really quiet and my niece started to cry for no reason. Oh, poor baby. The worst part was later that night after everyone had gone to bed. Their dad, my sister's father in law, was having whiskey in the kitchen with me and quietly said, this house is weird, huh? Like how he's just like, this is a weird house. He went on to say, I've noticed that this house does that sometimes. I'm sorry, that sometimes? That's like normal? I guess over the years, people have seen doubles of family members walking room to room, usually around the holidays when the house is full. His wife apparently saw him sitting in the living room once while he was outside chopping wood. Oh, okay, I got goosebumps again. I still go there for Christmas because apparently I enjoy emotional suffering, but I won't stay downstairs alone anymore. And every single time I pass the mudroom door at night, I expect to see somebody standing there pretending to be someone I love. Um, so I don't like a doppelganger spirit only because I have heard that those are like bad omens. Melissa, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I know everyone's thinking it. Your sister's house is the movie Us. That movie scared the shit out of me, you guys. Doppelgangers, I don't know. No, thank you. Unsubscribe. I want to know, did anything bad happen to you or family members either like during or after that encounter? Because I've heard that usually like it brings bad luck. Let me know. And if anyone else has had a similar situation with like a doppelganger spirit, please write it in. Please tell me. I think these are so fascinating and I want to know more about them, but they scare me. Like you guys can keep that. I don't want it to happen to me. But tell me if you've had that experience, please. And Melissa, listen, I'm not trying to scare you or anything. I'm just like genuinely curious. Anyways, sorry, I interrupted like the end of your story. She goes on to say, well, that's my spooky tale. Really, nothing else like this has ever happened to me before. If you read this on the podcast, thank you. And I really enjoy listening. Melissa from Pittsburgh. Thank you, Melissa. And thank you for writing in because that I don't think I've gotten a story like that. Have we? I don't know. I'm asking like anyone will fucking answer me. I'm alone in here. Anyways, I don't think we have. I don't think we have. Okay. On to the next story. This one's subject line is my funeral home sleepover. Oh, here we go. I live for this shit, you guys. I love stories like this. This one starts, "Hey Taylor, my name's Brooke and I'm from Southern Indiana." Oh, dang. Hey Brooke, what's up? What's Indiana like? I've never been there. I've listened to your podcast since the Braley Pond episode. Ooh, early listener. I love it. I love it. She says, "Because I'm a sucker for creepy wood stories and it popped up on my TikTok. Now I get to see your lovely face in those videos." Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, when I first started posting, it was just like audio and text. And then I realized very, very quickly that TikTok does not really push that in the algorithm. Now there's different things that I know I can do, but yeah, usually you gotta get your face in there, which is really uncomfortable. But getting more used to it. So glad you found that like authentically. That's so cool. She says, "I love to listen while doing my makeup before work every Thursday." Oh, thank you. I never thought I'd actually have a story to send in, but my childhood was apparently not normal, according to literally everyone I've ever told this to. My dad was a mortician my entire life. That is cool. He owned a small funeral home in our town, and our house sat directly behind it, like connected by a side hallway behind the prep rooms. To me, it was just home. I grew up eating cereal while hearing hearses being pulled into the parking lot. Wow, that's quite a visual I just got. I just pictured like little you eating your breakfast, looking out the window, like, huh, another one. Just a big old hearse. And then like My Chemical Romance blasting in the background. Helena, but probably not that part. She said, "Honestly, most of it wasn't really scary. Weird, yes, but scary, no. My dad was one of those funny, super calm people who became immune to everything." Well, yeah, I can imagine having that as his job. He'd say horrifying things in the most casual tone imaginable. Like, I'd ask where the ice cream sandwiches went, and he'd say, "I moved them to the downstairs freezer because we needed room for floral arrangements." Oh, for funerals. Or he would joke and say, "I don't know, ask Marge downstairs." Side note, Marge was a lovely old lady who had died a couple years ago, and we held her funeral as well as did her embalming. We're pretty sure she never left. Oh, that's very casual of you to mention that. I kind of love that though. Marge. Oh, Marge. I bet Marge is super awesome. And she probably did take your ice cream sandwiches because that is like honestly one of the first things that I would do as a ghost because you're a ghost. So, like, what you eat doesn't matter. Wait, can you eat as a ghost? What do you guys think? What do you think? Can you eat? I would I would at least try. I would try to. She says, "I learned very early not to ask follow-up questions when my dad said weird shit like that. When I was 16, my parents let me throw a Halloween sleepover with about 7 girls from my school." Oh, that's so fun. "My mom made chili, we watched horror movies, and all my friends acted brave for maybe an hour before they started freaking themselves out. The funeral home had motion sensor lights in the hallway, and every once in a while, we'd see them click on underneath the door connecting the house to the building. My friend Kayla kept insisting that somebody was walking around over there, even though my dad had gone home hours earlier." Oh, that's spooky. "At one point, one of the girls swore she saw a man in a dark suit standing near the viewing room doorway. The encounter went a little bit like this. Asterisk, please read like a scared high school girl." All right, I'll do my best. Quote, "Oh my God, did you see that? There's a man over there. I'm fucking leaving. I'm leaving. I'm leaving." End quote. Did I do that okay? I hope so. Okay. She says she gets up and starts packing her belongings. Oh my God. Starts literally packing her belongings. We checked, but there was nothing there. We're all trying to calm her down. Eventually, she did, and we continued eating snacks. You know, just normal haunted sleepover stuff. I love you. Around 2 in the morning, though, I woke up because one of my friends, Ashley, different girl, was crying so hard she could barely breathe. Oh no. See, that's when I feel really bad. She was sitting on the floor, clutching her phone, begging her mom to come get her. We all thought somebody had pranked her or she got sick or something, but she refused to explain why she was freaking out. She left in the middle of the night and barely spoke to me weeks afterward. So wait, her mom just came and picked her up, which like no shade because I would go pick up my kids in a heartbeat if they were like, "Mom, come get me. I'm at a sleepover." Totally get that. Um, but she just like didn't explain why she just left. She was just crying. Oh, that's sad. That makes me feel really bad. She says it honestly hurt my feelings at the time. I didn't understand why she had left or what had happened because she never explained. And then she was being really weird around me for weeks afterward. Fast forward maybe 6 years later. Holy shit. We are in our 20s drinking at a friend's wedding. And somehow this story comes up again. Ashley gets dead serious and finally tells me what happened. Oh, I am so intrigued. She said she woke up in the middle of the night because she thought somebody was standing in the bedroom doorway watching us. At first, she assumed it was one of the girls messing around trying to scare everybody. Very typical. But then she realized this person wasn't moving. She described it as a woman wearing very dark clothes with really pale makeup and bright lipstick, almost like she was prepared for a viewing. Ashley whispered, "Hello?" And the woman slowly tilted her head. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I don't like that. Ashley said she got so scared she didn't even know how to explain what was going on, and her only instinct was to call her mother. Ashley mentioned that the woman's smile slid too far across her face when she moved. Ew. Oh, no, I'd book it too. Honestly, I don't blame Ashley at all. Ashley said she shut her eyes for a second, and when she opened them, the doorway was empty. Oh, that's very scary. The next morning, after everybody left, my dad casually asked me which room we slept in, and I told him. And this man, oh gosh, and this man who literally handled dead bodies for a living just sighed and went, huh, thought she'd stop showing up in there. Hold on, wait. So I'm doing spooky calculus in my head. So you guys were all asleep. Ashley saw this, freaked the fuck out, called her mom, she left, and the next morning your dad asked where you guys slept. And that's what he fucking said? That's what he said? So he knew that there was some kind of spirit that would like go in there occasionally, but he thought that it had stopped. Maybe it wasn't trying to be scary. Maybe it was just like, why are there all these teenagers in here? And it got confused. She goes on to say, I have never recovered from that sentence. Dad, what do you mean you thought she'd stopped showing up there? Who? At the time, I didn't think to ask. I just thought he was being weird. But now looking back, I completely understand what Ashley must have seen. She saw somebody that my father had embalmed and held a funeral for, just kind of creeping on over, wondering who the hell these people are. Oh, that makes me feel a couple of different things. So, one, I feel bad for Ashley because that's scary and that sucks. But two, I don't think she was harming anybody. And maybe her smile didn't really slip off her face. Maybe it just looked creepy because Ashley has never had an experience like that. Or, she's obviously never seen a ghost before, which many people probably don't realize how real they look. But that is very creepy though. I don't blame Ashley one bit. She goes on to say, my parents still live in that home, but my dad is no longer a practicing mortician. He is retired. I do have other stories about this home, but I thought this one was the most interesting. Let me know if you'd like to hear them. Brooke from Indiana. Oh my God. Yes, Brooke. Of course I want to hear them. Please send more in. Please, please, please. I want to hear all about this funeral home you grew up in because that is fascinating. Okay, is this weird? Is this weird? I've always wanted to spend the night in a funeral home. Brooke, can we have a sleepover? Can we have a sleepover? I have so many questions. Let's chat because this is wild. Also, growing up, did people ever call you my girl or Aveda or Salt and Puss? Because those would be all my nicknames for you. Those would be my go-to. I prefer Salt and Puss, if that's okay with you. That'll be your new nickname for me, if that's cool. I feel like if I had a friend who grew up living in a funeral home, that's all I would think about. Is like, you're my girl, you know? Hopefully none of those situations happened to you. No friends dying of bee stings. God, that movie destroyed me. It destroyed me. Every time I watch it, I can't. I cry like a big old baby. Poor baby Macaulay. Little Culkin. Also, he has the coolest name. Did you guys know? I heard that he actually changed his middle name to be his first name. So he's like Macaulay, Culkin, or some shit like that. Hold on, I have to look it up. I swear I heard this, but you never know. You never know. Could have been a dream. Could have been my imagination. Could have just been TikTok, which is so accurate. Let's see. It says, yes, he did. Macaulay Culkin legally changed his middle name from Carson to Macaulay Culkin in 2019. This made his official full legal name Macaulay Culkin Culkin. What a fucking boss move. That is so funny. It says the actor decided to spruce up his name by running a fan poll on his website in December of 2018. Fans were given options like Shark Week, Kieran, obviously. The McRib is back was an option. Publicity stunt. Those are all great. But ultimately voted for him to use his own first name as his middle name. Culkin has since confirmed that this name is legally binding and frequently joked about it being a great punchline for airport check-ins. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love Macaulay. Okay, so sorry. Got really off track there. I really do love this story, Brooke. I need a lot more from you. Just write a novel. You know what? Write a book about your experiences living in that funeral home and all the spooky shit that's happened to you. I'll read it. I'm sure anyone listening to this will read it. Okay? Write it. Do it. See, now you have to. Peer pressure. I'm just kidding. But please write in more of those experiences because we want to hear them. We do, I promise. One thing people ask me all the time is how I make my podcast merch, and I always send them over to Printful. In fact, I've officially partnered with them because they do such an incredible job. Seriously, you guys, they are such a game changer. It's so easy, I could do it. Printful is a print-on-demand site where you design your merch exactly the way you want it, and they create it for you when someone clicks that purchase button. So you're not stuck storing boxes upon boxes of shirts, hats, stickers, or random inventory in your house. The best part is that you can link your Printful creations directly to your very own website. I just design what I want and they take care of the rest. They print it, pack it, and ship it for me. And you can set your own prices. And the merch options, endless. The limit does not exist. We're talking everything from cozy sweaters to phone cases and even adorable pet accessories for your furry little friends. They'll love it. So if you've ever wanted to start a side hustle or just bring a creative idea to life and slap it on a t-shirt or a good old dad hat, this is hands down the easiest way to do it without the stress. Head over to printful.com/a/suspects to let them know I sent you and get that creative juice a-flowing. The link is in the show notes to get started. Again, that's printful.com/a/suspects to let them know I sent you. Okay, Ghouligans, let's move on to story number 3. I have 4 stories for you today. Here's number 3. This is from a person named Erica, whose name I can use. That's why I just said it. And she is from, oh, hey, Flagstaff. Hey, Arizona girl. Can I ask you a question? Erica from Flagstaff, what is it like having seasons? Or at least like closest to seasons Arizona can get. That must be awesome. That must be great. We're sweating our balls off out here. What's crazy is it gets so hot that even if you don't have balls, you grow them just so you can sweat them off. It's actually insane. Uh, okay. This one's subject line is Airbnb ghost. She says, "Hi, Taylor. My name's Erica. I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona. I found your podcast because Spotify randomly recommended your Annabelle episode during a road trip, and now my fiance complains because your intro music has basically become part of our household soundtrack." Tell him, stop complaining. You know you love it. Just tell him to put on some headphones if he doesn't want to listen or like go in the other room. Okay. She says, "This happened last summer and I still refuse to stay in Airbnbs without reading every single review first." I feel like you should do that anyway, but let's see where this goes. "My fiance and I rented this gorgeous cabin outside Gatlinburg for our anniversary." Is that in Tennessee? I'm so sorry. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Gatlinburg Cabins. I was right. It's in Tennessee. Look at me using my geography skills. Not geometry though. Fuck that. So she says they rented a cabin outside Gatlinburg for our anniversary. We have established that is in Tennessee. The listing looked perfect. Huge windows, mountain views, hot tub, little fire pit outside. Total Pinterest core. There was only one review that stood out to me because it just said, "Beautiful property. The upstairs room is unsettling, LOL." That was a little ominous. I actually laughed out loud and showed my fiance that review because I thought the person was trying to sound mysterious. The first night was fine, except for one weird thing. There was a locked room upstairs at the end of the hallway. The host had mentioned it in the welcome book and specifically asked guests not to try opening it because it was, quote, used for storage. She goes, okay, weird, but whatever. That night around midnight, we both heard what sounded like a music box playing somewhere upstairs. That's never good. Just faint enough to make you question if you actually heard it. My fiance went up to check and came back saying he couldn't find anything. I immediately thought of The Conjuring. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I was about to say that. There was a crooked man. The carousel one. That's exactly what I thought of too. Ooh, chills. She says, oh, but don't worry. The second night got worse. The motion lights outside kept turning on around the same time every night, around 3 a.m. We'd look outside and see nothing there, not a person or anything. At one point, I genuinely convinced myself it was probably raccoons or deer. I mean, yeah, like that's the logical, right? That's what I would think too. Then I started having these awful dreams about a little girl crying behind a door. Oh, no, 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 no. She says, I know how fake that sounds. I know, but it kept happening. No, it does not sound fake. I've had other people write in, I think it was last month actually, about reoccurring dreams. And I fully believe this is a safe space. You can write in about all your weird shit and I'll believe you. It'll be fine. No, that sounds scary. A little girl crying behind a door? First of all, that's so sad, and that's also terrifying. She said, on the last night, I woke up around 3 again and realized the hallway light upstairs was on, even though we had turned it off. I went upstairs thinking my fiance had gotten up, and that's when I noticed the locked door was cracked open. Okay. She says, not wide, just enough to see darkness inside. Oh my God. I immediately got that horrible gut feeling that people always explain before something bad happens. Like every instinct in my body was screaming no. But because I apparently make terrible choices, I pushed the door open. Oh God, girl, what did you find? It wasn't a storage room. It was a nursery. Oh my God. My whole body. I have chills in my whole body. I am a giant goosebump. I am a whole goose pimple. A nursery? Oh. She says it had old wallpaper, a tiny crib, dust everywhere, shelves full of antique toys. There was even one of those old rocking horses in the corner. Oh my God. And sitting on the floor were stacks of Polaroids. Fuck. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, I'm sweating. I picked up one and almost threw up because it was the cabin. The same cabin, except the photo looked really old, like maybe from the 70s or 80s based on the tone of the color. And in the upstairs window, there was a little girl standing there. Oh my good God. The creepiest part, that's not the creepiest part? Jesus Christ. I swear her face looks scratched out. What? Her face is like scratched. Oh, like in the picture. Okay. I woke up my fiance and he immediately wanted to leave, but it was storming so badly, we stayed until morning. Oh my God. That's an actual nightmare. After we checked out, I left an honest but vague review basically saying the locked room situation was weird and the house had bad vibes. Wait, no. No, you did not. You're going to need to tell me where this is because now I'm morbidly interested and I need to go stay there. 2 days later, Airbnb emailed me saying my review had been removed because the listing was no longer active. The cabin completely disappeared from the app. Oh, well, never mind, I guess. Well, you can still share with me what it was if you're comfortable, but what the fuck? She says no listing, no host profile, nothing. And to this day, whenever I search the area on Google Maps, I still can't figure out where the house actually was. I know the general area. I know we were in Gatlinburg. I know it was a cabin. I even know that there was a 2 and a 5 in the address, but I cannot for the life of me figure out the exact spot. Maybe that's for the best, you know? Maybe that's for the best, Erica, because this sounds terrifying. But at the same time, I do kind of want to know and I do kind of want to go there. That literally sounds like something out of a fucking horror movie. Erica, you have a blockbuster on your hands. Somebody get this girl a screenwriter. We got to make this a movie. Oh, man. She goes on to say, if anyone else has had weird experiences at a cabin in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, please message me. And then she gave me her TikTok handle. So if anyone else has, um, email me, DM me, let me know, and I'll give you her handle. I don't want to like say it on the podcast because privacy, boundaries. But yes, if anyone has had those experiences, I'll get you two in touch. Oh man, Erica. Thank you for writing that in. That is that is one of the best stories I've ever heard. I really want to go there now. But obviously there's some activity happening in this place. But that also makes me sad because I feel like if there's a child that passed away in that home or something traumatic happened, there's some residual energy there that's very heartbreaking. I am so glad though, I'm not gonna lie, that this was an actual like haunted situation story because anytime I hear creepy Airbnb, I think it's like the host is being pervy. Maybe is that just me? Maybe it's just because like I'm a woman and that's immediately where my brain goes. But that's what I thought this was gonna turn into. It was gonna be like a locked door upstairs where he like spied on people. But no, that is clearly not what happened. Is much worse. Actually, no. You know what? I take that back. I prefer the ghost. I'll take a ghost or a bear over that shit any day, you know? All right, guys, we are on to our very last story of the day. Very last one. This one's subject line is not Annabelle, but maybe a distant cousin. So, haunted doll story, I'm assuming. Gotta love these ones. All right, here we go. Hey, Taylor and listeners, if this is read on the podcast, my name is Danny and I'm from Savannah, Georgia, the spookiest place on earth. I've heard that. I have heard that it's very haunted there. She says, I've been listening for almost a year now. Oh, day one listener? Another one? I am so honored, you guys. Oh my gosh, you're making me blush. Wait, sorry, pronouns she, he. Yes, she says, your podcast has become my cleaning soundtrack every Sunday. Sometimes I get behind a few episodes just so that I can binge on a Sunday while I'm cleaning. I do that same thing on podcasts that I enjoy. So thank you. My husband says that it's concerning that I listen to murder while organizing Tupperware. But honestly, that feels like a him problem. Yes, you are correct. That's a him problem. Men don't get it. They don't understand. She goes on to say, I need to tell you about the doll my grandmother absolutely cursed our family with before she died. Well, this took a turn. My grandma collected antique dolls, which already feels like a warning sign from the universe. But there was one doll everybody hated. Her name was Clarabelle, and she looked like a Victorian tuberculosis. Sorry. She looked like if Victorian tuberculosis became a person. Oh, that's not Clarabelle's fault. She can't help it. She says porcelain face, tiny little shoes, human hair, the whole nightmare package. Grandma adored her. Every holiday, she'd move Clarabelle somewhere new in the house like she was part of the family. Sometimes she'd be sitting in a chair near the fireplace, sometimes at the dining room table. One year, she was somehow positioned at the top of the staircase, and I genuinely screamed when I saw her. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's unsettling. I don't like dolls. Don't like clowns, don't like dolls. Whenever we told grandma the doll was creepy, she'd get weirdly defensive and say things like, quote, she just doesn't like being ignored, end quote. She, she writes, no, thank you. Agreed. After grandma died, nobody wanted the doll. That's kind of sad. My mom tried convincing my aunt to take it, but my aunt tried giving it to my cousin. And eventually the thing ended up in our guest room. Oh, God. Because apparently my family has never seen a horror movie. At first, it was just little things. The dog would growl at the room for no reason. I'm out. I'm out. Sorry. Pictures would randomly fall off walls nearby. Once I walked past the guest room and could have sworn I heard humming. No, no. Whistling, humming, singing, any of that shit. No, hate it. Oh, but she says the thing that finally got me happened when we moved houses. I packed Clarabelle into a taped up moving box myself. I remember doing it because I joked to my husband, if this thing shows back up, I'm filing for divorce and moving to another state. Why is that your husband's fault? Like, just move with him. Unless he likes the doll, then he can marry her. The next morning, the doll was sitting upright in the hallway outside our bedroom. Ew. The box was still taped shut in the garage. I'm sorry. What the fuck do you mean? It was still taped and she's out. Is your husband playing a prank on you? Is this going to be a prank story? I hope to God it is a prank story. She says, I'm fully aware of how that sounds. And no, my husband did not move her in fear of the divorce. After that, we donated the doll to an antique store downtown. Very good. Yes, don't burn it, don't throw it away. You usually have to donate it. Good job. 3 weeks later, my aunt called asking why we. No, no, you guys, no, shut up. She says 3 weeks later, my aunt called asking why we'd brought Clarabelle to her house. What? She says we hadn't. Apparently, she opened her hall closet looking for wrapping paper and the doll was sitting inside. Nobody knew how it got there. No fucking way. My aunt made my cousin drive it straight back to the antique store where I said we had left it. A month later, you're fucking lying. She says a month later, the store burned down. And before anyone asks, yes, the freaking doll survived. I'm sorry. I don't fuck with dolls. I'm sorry. I just don't. I fully believe that they can hold on to energy. I do. And this sounds like an Annabelle situation, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Or like Peggy the doll, Robert the doll, all the fucking dolls. I don't vibe. Mm-mm. You guys, I went to the Zach Bagans Museum. I spoke to Peggy the doll, and we had horrible luck. I was nothing but respectful to that doll, and I still got the sickest I've ever been. We had the worst luck after that night. When I tell you I believe, I fully believe. And this story is wild. Danny, you're from Savannah. What antique store was this? And what year did this happen? I need to know. Because as much as I hate this and I hate that happened, I am so fascinated and I want to hear more. You guys, I love being scared. You know this about me. I love it. It's one of the best thrills in life. Um, Anyways, I should probably finish her story. Okay. And Danny goes on to say, I hated that doll from the moment I saw it. I still hate that doll. I have no idea where it is now, but we no longer live there. Oh, okay. You no longer live in Savannah. So wait, you're from Savannah or this happened in Savannah? I need clarification. I need to know just so no one else buys that doll. You know? She says, thank you for your time. You're welcome. And I hope you read this on the podcast. Danny from Savannah. Oh my God. You guys, you know how to make me sweat. I'm literally sweating. Well, you guys did it again. You wrote fantastic stories. These were so good. Oh my God. Please keep sending in your stories. I love hearing from you guys. Like I say every time, this is like my favorite part of this podcast. It's just like our very own little spooky like book club. Only we're not reading books. We're just telling stories. It's like our own Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. And you guys are all the main characters. And it's just so fun. And with that being said, please send in your stories. I would love to read them for you. Suspectsandspiritspod@gmail.com. You guys can DM me, whatever you need to do, whatever avenue you need to travel to get those stories to me. Do it. Send them in. If you liked this episode, don't forget to share it with your spooky friends. Leave an Apple review, Spotify comment, whatever floats your boat. And that is all I have for you guys today. But don't inherit any dolls that you don't like, and make sure Airbnb isn't haunted. And make sure also that if your sibling walks by, that it's really your sibling. And as always, remember to trust your lizard brain. Until next time, goodbye.